Wow, I can't sleep, and I thought, well, I might as well post another video. And I've been looking at a lot of sports stories over the last couple of weeks, and there's a lot of negatives. And I don't understand sometimes the media, how they report things and how they say this manager's under pressure or this team are not performing and stuff, and always posting these negative stories. Well, you know what? Let's have a positive story, shall we? Let's have a look at some positives that we can get out of this. One positive I can think of, something where I think the national side could do really, really well, is look at the under-17s. They beat Brazil 3-1 the other day, and they're in the World Cup final. Another England side of the World Cup final. That's great. Underreported. Let's have a look at Bristol City beating Palace 4-1. Gets not the main thing in the sports page, but the story I'm going to focus on is the fact that the Rugby League World Cup starts in the morning at our time, evening, which is obviously now in Australia, and the first game is England-Australia, and this is gonna be almighty ding dong. It's gonna be passionate. Both sides are going to go hammer and tongs. A lot of the England side play in the NRL, so they're going to know a lot about their opponents, and a lot of our players don't, and the Australians won't know so much about them, which means we have a bit of an advantage. If you think about it, we have a bit of an advantage because all the Aussies play in the NRL. They all do. Some of our players do, so that's where they're going to know about each other. But our coach is Australian, Wayne Bennett. He coaches the Brisbane Broncos, and half our squad, of more than half, play in England. The Super League. None of the Australian squad do. So we have a little bit of an advantage in that they don't know how we're going to play. Unless the spotters were watching the test match we had against Samoa back in May, which I highly, and that's not even the same team that's been put out, the same squad, a lot of new faces in there. Of course, Zach Ardaker is not on the tour because he's facing a 2-year ban, and he has played in Australia, and he has obviously played the Super League, and he's a key integral part of what he was Wayne Bennett's plans, and he's now obviously not part of the setup. So a key centre, wing, fullback, he could play in those three positions. Not there. So when you're doing the matchups, he is not there. Now I think we have a good chance of beating this Australian side. I really, really do, because this Australian side is experienced, true, but they've just come off the back end of a really brutal season, and some of their players are getting on, other players have had in different form, and some of the players they wanted to select have decided, because they are dual nationality, to play for New Zealand, Samoa, Tonga, Fiji, other nations, Papua New Guinea, things like that. So they've lost out on Fafita, for example, who's a very powerful ball carrier, destructive forward. The Sims brothers all play for Fiji. They lost out on their services. For whatever reason, they've chosen to play for Fiji. Dylan Napa wants to play for the Cook Islands. So, key players are not going to be available to Australia in various positions across the pitch. And that's going to, be frustrating if you're the Australian coach going, players I want to select can't. So there's that. Also, some of the matches are taking place in Papua New Guinea, PNG. They're sharing this World Cup. And that's on the equator, and that is tropical. Port Moresby is a very sticky place and doesn't get below 30 degrees on a cold day. So, if matches are going to be played up there, you're going to have to go from temperate conditions in Canberra. Like I would say, yeah, temperate, much like conditions in this country for the time of year. So it could be foggy, it could be a bit of rain because it's their spring, it's our autumn. So it's when the weather starts to warm up, but it can still be pretty grotty weather. And there's still snow at the top of the mountains in Australia, the Southern Alps. So, and the Great Dividing Range, there is snow on the highest mountains in Australia. So the weather's not going to be perfect. And then you're competing, playing one match in rather temperate 15, 20 degrees, and then you're playing in tropical conditions. And that is the huge disparity in conditions. It's going to be interesting. But tomorrow, I think it's going to be a close game. I think it could even be a draw. And I'm going for 5 points either way. Literally 4 to 6 points swing either way. And I would say roughly 24-30 to the winner. I'm going to go for that close. So around 24 to 30 points each. It could be a draw, and that's my prediction for it. And it's going to be a damn exciting game. Both sides will be up for it. And would it have been better to have New Zealand or Australia as the first match? Possibly. The organisers and the groups, I don't know how it's all how the format of it is, but the organisers have chosen this as the game to start the tournament off. Had it been New Zealand, I think it would have been a lot of players might have been cited. I think the hatred is here as well, but we shall have to see what happens now, and how the games are played and how the players' attitudes come across. And I mean, I'm going to try to watch as many games as possible. I really am, but because of the time difference and the fact they're in Australia and we're here, it's already like they're 16 hours ahead, something like that. So they're nearly, for them it's like midday, afternoon, and by the time they play it's going to be evening. So but hopefully England do quite well. I'm wishing both sides luck. I am a rugby league fan, and yeah, it's just going to be a great tournament. You've got games throughout the next couple of weeks, and also game turnaround is going to be important as well. The time between games for players, because we've had this issue at Rugby World Cups, Football World Cups, the game turnaround, and the fixture congestion, if you want to call it that, and how teams adapt to that with their strength, depth, and squads. But anyway, thanks for watching. I know it's a bit of a late one, and I haven't really slept, but please like and subscribe. Please leave comments below, and good luck for both sides tomorrow morning.